Gotham Season 3, Episode 10, Time Bomb. I would definitely say that this was an episode for some serious change for some specific characters. We got to see Ed really, I think this is the second closest, or probably, I think this is basically full-on Riddler. Like, we saw him do some crazy stuff before when he was trying to, kind of lure or kind of mess with Jim and do his riddles then. That was like our first taste of Riddler, and he was threatening to kill people, stuff like that. Or kind of push other people to kill people. And then this one, it was a bit more personal. It was more him doing it, because he was, of course, electrocuting Butch, or shocking him most of the time. And then, at the end, he decided, you know what? Now this is how we're going to do it. And I loved it. I thought it was really cool seeing him be that way, even though he was totally wrong. It was still awesome to see it, because he went nuts over Isabella, and I loved that. I thought it was really fun, and it got really good at the end there, and it didn't go as I expected it to. So when he threw the option out there, because he figured he knew what was going to happen, I didn't think Tabitha was going to get her hand chopped off. Like, she decides to let him go, because of course it was like a couple of crazy things at once, because finally Ed realized when, Butch just tries to taunt him with it and he says, I put a bullet in her brain. I was like, okay, so now he knows that it wasn't Butch. So for him, it's just like, what the F is happening? So he's all messed up. And then Tabitha, because of Butch's like super cool speech, she's like, you're sweet, and she drops the buzzer so that he doesn't have to die and she can lose her hand in order to save his life. I thought that because Ed figured it out, he'd be able to stop it in time, and he just kind of froze. Like, her hand gets chopped off, she passes out, and Barbara is like, finally, she just gets there, puts a gun to him and everything, and he's just basically like, huh, I effed up. And he just walks past it, like, there's no argument. She's confused, because it's just like, what the F just happened here? Like, I'm ready to threaten to blow his brains out after doing all this research trying to track him down. And then he's just like, I put some ice on that hand, and he just walks right past her. So the way it all played out was very shocking to me, because I'm like, okay, he has the revelation. He's going to stop it just in time because he realizes, well, I'm wrong. But it doesn't happen that way. And her hand gets chopped off. And I thought it was well done. I'm assuming they're going to be able to save her hand because they put it on ice. That's not guaranteed, but I would like that, just to, that would suck for a character in general. But I don't know. I thought it was a great way to end it in like that little chunk of the storyline. And then, of course, I guess the actual ending was the revelation by Barbara. After she talked, of course, with the Russian maid, she realized that Penguin had feelings for Nygma. And then at the end, she's like, oh crap. Now I get why the random librarian was attacked, or why she was set to die. It's because it was Penguin. So that brought a whole new layer to the chaos, and I guess this is where all that was headed to, because I'm like, I knew that somehow Isabella was going to bring chaos in some way, shape, or form. I thought it would be more immediate between Penguin and Riddler, but I love this even more because it brought in three characters who have had like probably some of the craziest journeys. We've had like three characters, all of which, well, Barbara not necessarily. Barbara kind of just did her own thing the whole way through. But like Tabitha was with her brother and he was effing nuts. Butch, of course, was with Mooney and she ended up going, and then she was with Penguin, or he was with Penguin, and then she came back to life, so he was stuck and he was brainwashed by Penguin. Then he decided to genuinely work with Penguin temporarily. Then he got pushed out, and so now he's their enemy again. And I love the journey of those three characters, and now they're, a cohesive unit again, and they're going to be going for Penguin. And Barbara says, we don't have to fight a war, we just have to start it, which might not be too hard anymore, because now Falcone has come in, and the Court of Owls tried to kill his son, because he's done something that we still don't know about. And there's still some secrets, but there are so many revelations in this, or like hints to revelations, that I'm just super excited for this next episode. Like, I'm actually really excited to see what this next episode leads to with the Court of Owls, Falcone, Penguin, Riddler, really everybody, and see how all these different components are affected and how everything kind of comes together in all this crazy chaos. But this is a fun episode. I feel like there's not too much to say about it. There's so many different things, but it was just a really good episode. I feel like all the best things to talk about were kind of at the end. Like, that was really my favorite part, was seeing Riddler do his thing. Penguin really only had like that opening sequence, but what he did was kind of the catalyst for this whole for that story of the episode. Jim going through the chaos with the Court of Owls. Bruce even finding out that the Court of Owls have enemies who sadly get killed at the end. I wasn't expecting that either. I was like, okay, this should be pretty fun. He's going to have at least a couple of allies. I didn't think they'd bring in more people. I was like, alright, he's going to have a couple of allies and stuff. And they're going to try to figure out how to deal with the Court of Owls. And then it's like, nope, sadly those guys get killed off. Fortunately, Bruce and his mini team, they still have the key. And there were really no clues given by the guy that was killed. So they're safe for now. The Court of Owls has no real leads as to where the key is or if anyone even has it. So that's their only real advantage. And I'm sure they'll find out that they don't have their former allies from this episode. By the time we hit the next one, they'll probably figure that out like crap. They were found dead on the pier, stabbed to death by not Kato. I forgot what it is. Talon is the guy's name, but it's just that Kato thing is still in my head. Like, he seriously looked like Kato in that when I first saw him in that trailer. But this is a really good episode, I thought. We did get to see Bullock as acting commissioner, which I thought was cool. Lee and this was the other big reveal. I knew there was something. I'm like, there's so many crazy things happening. I knew there was something super crazy that I missed. The actual ending to the episode. So we have Jim dealing with the Court of Owls. Well, sort of. He doesn't realize it, but he is. Trying to save Maroni's son. And we go through all this stuff, and it's like, alright, everything's worked out. Bullock is trying to tell Jim, hey, tell Lee how you feel. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to impose on her happiness and stuff. And they have their final goodbye. And she gives him the kiss, and she leaves his apartment. So she's leaving, and I'm like, I knew it was too happy. I'm like, something's going to happen here that's bad. I thought she was just going to flat out get attacked. But then we see that it's her fiance, and he's mad. And I was like, man, he's jumping to conclusions. Like, he's kind of losing it a little. Like, he's jumping way too far. And then he's breathing real hard, and the people are coming up to him. And then the voices start going in his head, and I was like, holy crap. He's been infected, like, this entire time, or at least for a while. Who knows how long he's been infected. He's been working with these bodies. I'm sure someone that he came in contact with got some blood on him, or, maybe he had a little cut. I mean, he working around, medical equipment, tiniest little cut, tiny little drip of blood gets in you, you're infected. So now we have to figure out where that came from. But he's snapping, like, he kills the one dude, like, he breaks the one guy's neck, he, like, just completely twists the other guy's arm. So we find out that at the end, he's actually infected. He has been, at least for a while, and that also explains why he lost on the dude in the jewelry store. I thought it was just like, I'm keeping my secret, and that was it. It was more, I'm losing my mind, so I'm just going to be mad and go way overboard. So, also a great reveal at the end of this episode, but I really love this one. I thought it kind of just kept going. I thought there were, like, no slow beats. The slow stuff, I think the slowest stuff really, I guess technically it was probably from Bruce and, like, the revelations, but even that I thought was really good, because I was curious where that was headed early on when Ivy tricked Alfred, or she, like, controlled him a little. So I'm like, I don't know where this is headed, but I think it's bad. And it ended up being much simpler than I thought, but it led to a cool reveal that the Court of Owls do have other enemies. And even though those guys died, that might be reason enough for the other members to come back to the country, because he mentions a lot of them left to the Ukraine. But some people stayed. I'm sure it was more than just those three, so maybe we will get to see more of this other group. But I don't know. I thought it was cool. It was like, they just kept it going in this episode. Here's a revelation. Here's just something cool. Nygma's got the wrong people. Who knows how that's going to play out. The way that it played out, like I said, kind of blew my mind. And then the revelation by Barbara, this, like, basically two new wars are starting up with Barbara, Butch, and Tabitha, and then Falcone with what he wants to do against the Court of Owls. So, and I love this line because he mentioned, when Catherine was like, you think we're afraid of you? He was like, you wanted it to look like a mob hit, so you didn't want me finding out. So, yeah, basically, he was like, yeah, I do think you're afraid of me. So I thought that was great, because he's like, if my son's gone, it's not about winning. Like, Gotham will burn, and I thought that was a great part. So we basically got two wars starting up for two totally different reasons. That's going to be chaotic. We still have the Court of Owls doing whatever this grand scheme is, or whatever that they have planned. And then we have even the deeper stuff within the war. We're going to have Penguin versus Riddler, and then whatever is going on with Falcone's son. So, a million things. We also got to see like every character. Even Lucius actually showed up for like one scene. I think literally every character was in this episode, at least for like a split second. So that was also cool. Always lovely seeing Lucius, even though it's always for like 2 seconds. Unfortunately, I wish he was more with like Bruce and Alfred because we get to see him a lot more. But it's just like, hey, here I am, one scene, and then he's gone. I'm like, that really sucks because Lucius is funny, but we at least got him in this episode. We got like everybody for some amount of time. So really love this one. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I actually want to know how you guys think Lee's fiance got infected. Like, I really can't remember his first name. And if I say Falcone, I just think of his dad. So I don't know. It might be Maroni. Maybe that's his first name and not Falcone's first name. I don't know. But I want to know how you guys think he got infected, or, has he been infected this whole time? Or, I would assume it has. I don't know. I mean, it goes back like, what, 5 episodes, I guess, when Alice died. So it's really hard to say when he could have gotten infected. They said they couldn't even burn her body because even, I guess, her ashes, I don't know, I guess her blood vaporizing into the atmosphere even infected people, because I thought that didn't make any sense when they said like you can't even burn her body. So clearly there are a lot of little things. It was just like the tiniest bit can infect you. So it's hard for me to figure out like where he could have been in relation to her that he would have been infected. But I guess that's the big mystery at this point, is like, how in the world did that even end up happening when he wasn't really involved that much with her character. Even after she died, he wasn't like a coroner or anything. So how did that happen with him? But I want to know your speculations and what you guys thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.